Hey folks, Leonidas here, just doing a little video to wrap up the Appalachian Trail section hike series from this year. For whatever reason, I just have a bad tendency on the last day of a trip to just kind of not film, not do anything. Might take a couple pictures, but something I'm working on, and of course I did it again this trip. It's kind of once you get into town and kind of you're getting back in the swing of heading back to get your car or whatever it is you've got to do, everything just kind of goes out the window for me. But so on day June 7th, after we finished, got to Damascus on the 6th, that night we hung out in town on the 6th, went out to eat with some friends we had met, had a good time just kind of hanging out and chatting. Came back to the Hikers Inn and went to sleep. I think I stayed up fairly late. I couldn't really sleep, even though it was the end of the trip and we were kind of tired. It was just kind of the excitement of the trip. Got to meet some great people. So I didn't sleep very well that I recall. But the next morning I got up early. Went down and chatted with a couple ladies that were getting ready to head out to continue on northbound. Ran down to the store, if I remember right. Maybe I went down and checked to see if the store was open. Came back, we kind of got cleaned up, partially packed, and decided we were going to go down to Little Bits of Damascus. It's a bakery, and we had been there the day before as well and had some great food and coffee. So we decided we were going to go there for breakfast. So Stumbleina and I headed over there. They were not open yet, so we went over to, I think we had to go to Dollar General to get something. So we kind of just cruised around downtown Damascus waiting for things to open up. And then went to the bakery, hung out with the owner again, had a great time chatting with her. She actually, her and her husband took the dog that hiked into town with us. They are taking care of the dog. They've named her, I believe she told me, Charlotte. So we had a really great time talking with her. I had one of their giant cinnamon rolls. Stumbleina had their crustless quiche, and I kind of wish I had got it and the cinnamon roll because it looked amazing. But we hung out in there for a fairly decent amount of time. We did have a shuttle arranged from the prior day. We shuttled with Mount Rogers Outfitters. They hooked us up with a guy that shuttles for them. So we had I'm trying to remember what time it was. I want to say we had a 10:30 shuttle. So we hung out in the bakery for a while, saw some people we knew, chatted with them, drank a lot of coffee. Went back to the inn, checked out, and I'm trying to think. Spoke to the owner and his wife, and their name escapes me at the moment, but a great place to stay. It is a little more expensive depending on what you're wanting to pay to stay inside, which for us was fine. It was our last night, and we like to kind of treat ourselves once or twice out there. But he does run a hostel out of the back, so like a bunk room, so that is a lower price option, but it's kind of right in the middle of everything in town, so it's a really great location. Paul, I think, was his name. Super nice guy. Had a great stay there. Everything was really clean and really nice. It was definitely worth. I think we paid $75 for a king room, so definitely worth it. And the bathroom was right next to our room, so that was great as well. So we went back, got all our stuff out, said our goodbyes to some people that were still there, and on our way back down to Mount Rogers, we ran into Craft Beer and Jonah. Jonah is a guy from Germany that was doing a section of the trail, and he had been hiking with Craft Beer. So we had sort of a joyful but kind of sad interaction of sorts, knowing that they were going to continue north and we were having to leave. But we stopped and talked to them for a few minutes, and then I noticed that the shuttle guy was kind of out there, and I could see, I believe it was Grumpy at Mount Rogers out there kind of giving us a look, so kind of wrapped it up. and headed down to the shuttle. We were actually shuttled out with another guy who was going out to section into Damascus from where they had pulled him off trail, where he had came off trail. So had some good conversation, a good ride back to Hot Springs. For the shuttle guy, that was his first time to ever go to Hot Springs, so that was interesting, just kind of telling him a little about the town, since we had, stayed there for a couple days in 2016 or 2017. Told him some good places to eat and stuff like that. So I got back to the car. Everything was intact. I had been a little apprehensive / nervous on the trip, because the day we left the car, I had noticed a truck pull in and kind of just hang out in there while we were getting ready, and pitch black tinted windows, and just kind of just hung out in there with the engine running the whole time we're there. So came back, nothing was gone or had been tampered with, which is kind of what I expected, but your mind plays tricks on you. And so got back, had a good drive back, and so that was pretty much the trip. I'm thinking about maybe doing a couple gear review videos about some of the things I changed for this trip, some things that worked out really well. I don't think we had anything that didn't work well this trip. I think everything kind of functioned as it should, besides me forgetting tent stakes, but that was easily remedied. Now I did find them when we got back. They were exactly where I figured they had fallen. They had fallen between the end of the bed and the footboard. Sure enough, there they were in their DCF sack. And the reason why they weren't with the tent, I don't know if I mentioned this, is because prior to getting that duplex, I was switching between tents, whether I was going out by myself or with Stumbleina, so I would just move those stakes between tents. So that is why they're not with the tent. And I think they're still not with the tent. I need to make a mental note to grab those and put them in the duplex bag, so that does not happen again.